What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys for always dropping a like for the videos and sharing my videos. In today's video, guys, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about this recession. We're going to talk about how families can prepare. We're going to talk about multiple streams of income. We just received word that, Black Friday sales this past weekend, they were actually better than expected. But this brings us to the question of where families are in this current state of the economy. Now, you've got Social Security recipients, anyone who's on fixed income right now are feeling the brunt of this current economy. Everything is going up around us, guys. Inflation is destroying the lower income Americans. Inflation and the pending recession is destroying middle income, middle class families as we speak. And Americans with no assets are the focal point of the economic collapse. And so what do I mean by that? Well, what have we seen over the last 24 months? We have seen the stock market crash. We have seen the stock market rally, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones. And many people may be thinking to themselves, well, Ron, I don't invest in the stock market. I don't own any stocks. I don't care about this. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Americans with no assets, Americans who don't own any real estate, Americans who do not control real estate are the greatest at risk. EBT food stamp recipients, EBT SNAP recipients, millions of Americans currently receiving EBT and SNAP never received these forms of benefits before. So it begs the question, well, why are there so many people eligible for EBT and food stamps now? And it has a lot to do with our current economy, has a lot to do with inflation. And where there was a recent warning that came from Elon Musk, of all people, warning the Fed to stop raising interest rates to prevent a recession. Now, this warning to the Fed came from Elon Musk, of all people. Elon Musk, owner of Tesla. Elon Musk, owner of SpaceX. Elon Musk is one of the richest people, one of the richest men in the world, giving a near ultimatum to the Fed to cease and desist with the interest rate hikes. Now, the interest rate hikes from the Fed were told to us, they told us that interest rates would be hiked to address rising inflation. The interest rates would be hiked to stop real estate from continuing to appreciate at the rate that it was. The interest rate hikes from the Fed, from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, were issued to slow down the rate of inflation. Well, folks, this is a very slow process. And unfortunately, what we're seeing right here and right now is we're not seeing housing becoming any more affordable. If you're on fixed income, if you're on Social Security, if you're on SSI, SSDI, you are among the Americans who are likely feeling the greatest amount of pain. And it's very unfortunate, but this is the truth here. And this is what I'm seeing from you guys. This is what I'm hearing from you guys. A lot of you guys have reached out to me. You guys know my contact information is in the description down below. I read your comments, and this is what I'm seeing. Social Security, fixed income, SSI, SSDI, railroad retiree recipients. This is the segment of the population that's feeling the greatest amount of pain. Why? Because everything's becoming more and more expensive. Everything that you pay for, property taxes, insurance, many people's adjustable mortgage payments, food, gas. You might be shopping for food in Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Target. It doesn't matter. All of these supermarkets, grocery store chains, they're all charging more for food. Why? Because, well, inflation. Inflation is affecting everything. Diesel prices, gas prices, everything that goes into producing food is becoming more and more expensive. So of course, these business owners, these company owners, these farmers, these grocery store chains, they have to remain profitable. Otherwise, they're going to have to shut down. They're going to have to close. They're going to have to cut overhead. They're going to have to cut more employees. More and more layoffs could be coming down the pipeline. In fact, according to Fed Chair Jerome Powell, more layoffs are expected. And according to Fed Chair Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve, the Fed is expecting to see roughly 175,000 jobs completely laid off, completely removed from our economy per month. Per month, guys. They're anticipating between 1 and 2 million, and I think the number is honestly a little bit conservative. They're saying that they're expecting between 1 and 2 million jobs to be lost between now and the next year. Now, me personally, I think it's going to be a significantly greater number than that. But even more importantly than that, let's talk about DoorDash. So DoorDash has just laid off over 1,250 workers. That's right, guys. Many people have been looking for side hustles and ways to increase their income. And DoorDash, food delivery, this has been a side hustle that a number of Americans have been relying on to increase their income, especially during the time of high inflation, especially during a time where the housing market has increased in their asset valuations so drastically that Americans can no longer afford to purchase homes. And for many Americans, DoorDash as a side hustle has served as a way to supplement their income. But what this shows us, for those who are paying attention, what this shows us is that multiple streams of income is more important today than it ever has been in probably all of history. Multiple streams of income. It used to be that, our parents used to work one job, and that one job they could likely, work for, 25, 30, 40 years, whatnot, and they could retire. They may or may not have contributed to their 401k. They may or may not have contributed to their Roth IRAs, their traditional IRAs, any other type of investment brokerage accounts. Many of the companies back then used to provide pensions. I don't know how many of you guys today remember pensions or even familiar with what a pension is. Today, you will not find a company offering a pension if you walk in the door. And if you do, you have found a diamond in the coal mine. And if you do, let me know in the comments down below, what company do you know of that is offering a pension? Because back then, pensions were commonplace. Today, pensions are no longer in existence for the most part. And this is the evolution of our economy. Basically, this used to be a benefit. It's no longer there. Healthcare, health insurance, 401k benefits through your employer, dental insurance. These are a number of different types of paid leave, paid time off, PTO, sick leave. These are a number of different benefits that most employers offer today. Now, as employers look to continue to cut costs and reduce their expenses for the business to increase their profit margins, as revenues continue to weaken, we're going to see more employers looking to cut costs. Now, this could come in the form of reduced benefits. It could also come in the form of reduced staff, like we've been seeing, layoffs. Like I said, DoorDash just laid off or announced 1,250 workers will be removed, right? These 1,250 workers, they're going to be laid off. So the question you have to be asking yourself is, well, what can I do now? Could inflation eventually be reduced through the Fed's interest rate hikes in the future? It's likely that inflation will be reduced, but what is unlikely to happen is that prices will go back to where they were. Food prices will likely not go back to where they were 2 years ago. Real estate values, the price, rent, The price, how much we're paying for rent to rent an apartment, the amount that you're paying to rent a house from an entrepreneur real estate investor, chances are we will not be going back to those original prices that we saw 2 and 3 years ago. Could there be a decline in real estate costs? Potentially, but this is not likely to affect or benefit most Americans, especially low income, middle class Americans. If you're on Section 8, think about it. Section 8 people will likely have more and more competition just to even find landlords that are accepting Section 8 because the demand for rental properties is so high. So even if you happen to be among the low income families that qualified for Section 8, you more than likely will have another hurdle to have to climb over, which is not only getting approved for Section 8, but you would also have to find landlords that are accepting Section 8. Because while the government may approve you to have Section 8, you still need to find properties that will allow you to sign a rental lease and be willing to allow some or 100% of that rent payment to come from the form of government assistance or Section 8. So this is another topic that I feel like is gonna really hit a lot of families hard and will probably not hit mainstream media because unfortunately, Section 8 recipients, EBT, SNAP benefit recipients, they're not as high up on the radar in terms of mainstream media. And quite frankly, I just don't think that they care enough to cover that topic. But I think that there's already millions of people who are in that segment of the economy that it needs to be covered. So I wanted to share some of this information with you guys because this is real. This is real stuff. So like I said, DoorDash dropping off 1,250 employees. That's a lot of workers losing their jobs. Elon Musk is warning the Fed to cut interest rates before a recession. And let's be honest, guys, the mortgage rates have fallen for 3 straight weeks, but demand remains weak. So what does this tell us? This means that while the interest rates have increased to address affordable housing, it hasn't increased the demand for real estate. People aren't running out there applying for mortgages. Mortgage applications are down. People aren't out there signing new contracts, and home builders are feeling the heat. They're feeling the burden. Home builders are literally scared. Home builders are reducing how much real estate that they're building. Look at Florida. Florida, Nevada, and a couple other states, probably even California, are likely to see some of the most dramatic drops in real estate. And generally speaking, it is because these are the states that saw some of the most dramatic real estate appreciation in such a short period of time. So what this means is this is going to create a tremendous wealth building opportunity for a lot of families. This is going to create the Fed's decisions could very well have likely made it easier for families to become wealthy. The Fed could literally make it easier for families with no assets to become rich. Now, I'm going to be sharing some information with you guys. I'm actually going to be making myself a little bit more available because I've been getting a lot of questions and comments regarding how to create multiple streams of income. And I know a lot of people haven't made it this far in the video. Most people have likely dropped off the video already. So statistically speaking, probably only about 10% of the viewers will even hear this message right now. If you're looking for ways to create multiple streams of income so that you and your family don't have to worry about a job loss, because if you only have a single stream of income, then it's a single point of failure. But if you have multiple paychecks coming in at any given point in time during a month or during a week from different sources, you are insulating your family away from the economic collapse that is literally taking place before us right now. And as we've seen the likes of Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and any other wealthy individual make a tremendous, any of these billionaires have seen a tremendous amount of wealth being generated over the last 24 to 36 months, largely to do with the pandemic. But we've seen the stock market crash for like 6 months during 2020. But then the stock market recovered at a rate that we have never ever seen before. In fact, the stock market hit new highs during a pandemic. And so Americans with no assets missed out on all of that wealth building opportunity. We have seen it again. We've seen the stock market collapse. The stock market crashed starting at the beginning of this year, right? And this was just before Fed Chair Jerome Powell began raising interest rates. But what a lot of people weren't paying attention to was that the warning signs, they were out there. And smart money prepared themselves. Smart people doing smart things with their money prepared their investments. They structured they created intelligent financial structures to prepare for the changes that were coming. So a lot of people, even though the stock market has crashed over the last, let's just say 9 months, people were still making money. Cash is trash. This is a statement that used to come from Ray Dalio quite often. Cash is trash. And I think what billionaire investor Ray Dalio meant by that was that when there are so many other asset classes that are going up in value way faster than cash is, then cash is trash, especially when you had the Fed Chair Jerome Powell with the money printer, printing out money, sending out stimulus checks to people. Millions of people received stimulus checks. Businesses were receiving stimulus checks, PPP loans, EIDL. There were all forms of quantitative easing. Basically, there was just a money printer that was just running rampant. And so with that being the case, they were increasing the money supply. So if you were holding too much cash, that meant that your cash was losing value because there was just more of it out there. So with that being said, yeah, sure, inflation could have been impacted by stimulus checks. I'm not going to argue that, but it certainly wasn't the only factor that affected inflation. But here's the thing today, guys. If you don't have a way to increase your income to offset inflation, you and your family could potentially be financially wiped out. And I don't want that for my community. So I have over the years, helped many people create additional streams of income, multiple streams of income through side hustles, through creating businesses, through creating e-commerce stores, online businesses. And I like lazy, easy. I don't want to say easy. I like lazy, simple businesses, right? Simple side hustles that can make an extra $50 a week. Simple online businesses that can generate an extra, $300 a month. I mean, would an extra $300 a month help you out? I think most families would benefit from an extra $300 a month, maybe an extra $500 a month, maybe an extra $800 a month, whatever the case is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself available. You guys can join the group. I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you and your family are interested in creating ways of creating multiple streams of income, additional streams of income, you can join the group. I'm going to be sharing more information on that. But you got to be willing to invest in yourself. You got to be committed. So if you're willing to invest in yourself, if you're willing to put in a little effort, I think it could be worth your time. But I'm going to be sharing more information with you guys, more opportunities in the group. So definitely check that out down below. And I really hope that families take this time, if you are still employed, to protect your family, get the proper insurance you need so that if the worst does happen, you and your family are protected. But even better, if the worst doesn't happen, you and your family will be so far ahead. You'll be so far ahead, and you'll actually be you'll be involved in the wealth building process. And never forget, Warren Buffett once said, if you don't figure out a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And this is a very true statement, right? So I just wanted to get this message out to you guys. I hope that this has resonated with some of you. Like I said, I'll be sure to leave my contact information in the description down below this video. I hope that you guys are safe. I hope that you guys are well, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be safe.